Hi!
Welcome back
to Art Discourse, where Kyle and I answer questions submitted by all of you. Maybe not you specifically, but
you right there.
Yeah. Thanks so much for submitting a question.
It's me again, I'm calling from a faraway land. Pick up the phone, I'm calling from a different time zone. Heard you are a pretty good source for major topics in art discourse. Hello, I'll leave my questions as a message at the dial tone.
We're really excited to see what our question is today. I'll grab it out of our little question machine here and let's take a look. How, as an emerging artist, does one make valuable connections within the established artistic community? Ooh, nice question. I feel like I've been interested in saying a little disclaimer at the top of all of these, which is basically Kyle and I are just answering these questions. They're on the fly, we don't read the questions beforehand. And they're just whatever comes to our head from our perspective on the question in the moment. So please feel free to chime in and let us know what you think, because yeah, we're just two artists.
Okay. How does one establish connections within the artistic community?
Oh, there's so many different ways.
So it depends on if you're what kind of connections are you looking for? Are you looking to make artist friends? Are you looking to make business friends? Are you looking to schmooze with people? I guess if you want to meet artists and you really like an artist and you want to connect with them, just send them an email. Artists are they're just regular people, guys. You just send them an email, say, I really like what you do. Would you be open for a studio visit or something like that?
No, I keep writing celebrities emails and they don't ever write me back.
Yeah, that's because they're celebrities.
They're still artists.
Okay, I see what you're saying. Okay, but they have the connotation of celebrity artist.
Yeah, I guess. Still hurts.
There's artists in Canada that I really admire and really respect within the community that I feel like I could just email and be like, hey, and start a dialogue with them.
Yeah, I think that's true.
Whereas I don't feel like I could
No, I keep writing Lena Dunham. She never writes.
Yeah, exactly. I don't feel like I feel like yes.
Okay, so let's break this down. So different ways to connect with the artist community. Again, we're both visual artists, so I know that a lot of our responses sort of reflect that in how we discuss things. Mm-hmm. But some ways that we've connected with community include going to things. That's probably the easiest way you can connect. If you're a musician, go to shows. If you're an actor, go to shows. If you're a visual artist, go to gallery openings, go to events, go to performances, and then stick around. Stick around, talk to the curator. If you're interested in curation, go to galleries when something isn't on and see if you can talk with the curators, talk with the docents at the museums.
Yeah, set little goals. I think that we used to do this where we would I'm going to talk to one stranger.
Yeah.
And not just my friends, talking to a legitimate stranger to talk about something that's happening. Mm-hmm. I think that was a really strong way to make that kind of connection with other people.
Yeah.
And talking to the artist of the show is also a good thing.
Yeah, yeah.
I'm sure they would love to hear your praises.
Oh, and just having conversation, I can tell you from being an artist at shows, when you're just standing there and you don't really know what to do, you don't want to go up to people, that feels really weird and egotistical or something. When someone comes up and is like, are you the artist? I really like what's going on here, or how's the show been going? Or, nice outfit, or good choice on the cheese spread. Anything could be really a nice, okay, finally someone's just talking to me and I don't have to be awkwardly standing over here in the dark.
Yeah, so attending community organized events.
Yeah. Other ways are going to workshops, or like art lectures. So, you know, at Queens, which is where Kyle and I went to school in Kingston, the arts, I think it might be through the fine art department, but it might be just the art department in general. We'll usually invite guest artists to come and do lecture series, or they'll be at a residency for a period of time in the department. And usually those are public, and you can go and just listen to the lecture. And generally speaking, that person is going to stick around afterwards, so you can go and meet them. I know museums do that, and we've had several residents here who have went to guest lectures at different public museums and then have stayed around to speak with the person that's there. What else have we done? We've done networking events, so conferences. That can be a really, really great way to meet
conferences
people.
are a great way to meet people, like a high volume of individuals focused on a specialty.
Yeah.
So like we attend a printmaking conference every year in the United States. There are several that run, but this one's the one that we kind of like invest into. And we've made a lot of connections that way.
Yeah.
So like through friends of friends of friends of friends of friends kind of deal.
It's expensive. So like, you know, going to a gallery for a show, generally free. Going to a conference sometimes can be thousands of dollars. And so you have to be, maybe check out some of our other videos on finding funding, because that can be something that you can apply for funding to do, because it's a career advancement opportunity.
Yeah, coming back to our first point of community events, so like going to them, but I think also participating in them. And I think being in our artistic community, this is something that Chris and I have done, which is like we have our own practices, which are solo individual kind of things, but then we've also worked with many public organizations. And yeah, we're not making our artwork per se. We are in a way, but like I'm not making prints when we work with Department of Illumination.
Yeah.
But like that has been a very valuable way to make a substantial connection. So like those relationships built from that community building through public art installation, like really solidifies that. Like,
yeah, especially with Department of Illumination, it's very collaborative. You're collaborating with the other artists and often collaborating with the community itself. So it's just a very different way of creating engagement, and it connects you with people that maybe aren't artists, but they're working in the arts sector. So they might be, you know, people or theater, music, maybe at the municipality level, like working to like create community connections, also, libraries, like all that sort of thing.
Also like patrons, right? Because like the people that might volunteer with the Department of Illumination might not actually be artists, but are instead like people who just really want to support the arts.
Yeah.
And so like I think that like that's a very mean way to make a high value connection.
Definitely. And then volunteering. We did a lot of volunteering, and I especially did a lot of volunteering, especially in my undergrad, volunteering at art spaces, volunteering at theaters, volunteering with actual just artists, helping them in their studios. Doing that type of work can not only create like an interesting connection to the community, but it also usually opens your eyes to a lot of the behind the scenes that go on in those spaces, and it can be beneficial to your career, but I also just think it's beneficial as like an eye-opener, so that you go and you know all the work, all the time, all the, you know, blood, sweat, and tears that go into creating just about anything. Yeah.
Making those connections with somebody else, like you want to do them authentically. This can be like kind of hard because like you want to, like, perhaps you've moved to a new place and like you have no community network, and so you want to meet lots of people fast to get to rebuild what network you feel safe in. There's a chance that you might come across as inauthentic, and I think that that's something that you want to really avoid when trying to make connections with people. Like, don't necessarily just make a connection with somebody because like it will benefit you solely.
Yeah.
Like, try to give back to that connection in a way, and I think that's where like community events are like really are a good way to go about that, because you're kind of exchanging your labor and it doesn't feel one-sided.
Yeah, definitely. I'm trying to think of other, like, Joining workshops is another good way.
Yeah, you're going to talk to workshops and I interrupted you.
Oh, that's okay. But I just think in general, like workshops, they're fun. One, and like you're gonna learn something from them, which is great. And usually it's, you know, a crowd of other people that are interested in that topic and that subject and that material as well. So you can make a connection with the organizer and the facilitator, but you can also make a connection with all the people that are there. And you know, there's a wide range of different workshops, and usually like most art spaces, whether that be, you know, theater, dance, visual arts, writing, there's going to be some kind of workshop, and especially a lot of the bigger public spaces. I know with like the AGO, they'll have like resident artists working in the space and sometimes facilitating workshops as well while they're on site. So, you know, you can really meet like a good range of people doing something like that. What else? What other options are there?
Well, like,
even applying for things, I would say, like, and when I think about the applications that we've gotten, especially for our Emerging Artist Award, you know, we only accept 6. We usually get like 100+ applications. And if someone has applied more than once, I remember them. I usually like go to their website, and even if I've not met them, you know, when you're reading an application, generally speaking, you get like a fairly good understanding of what the person's interests are, what they're like. And, you know, I know that we've recommended people that we've never been able to accept, or the jury hasn't accepted their work, but their work really stood out to us. And whenever we hear someone talking about a project or a show or looking for somebody, if that person comes to mind, then we just like send their name along and suggest them. It's a kind of a weird way of connecting with a community, but even when I worked at the gallery, we did that. Like if someone applied for a show but the work didn't really work within the gallery, it didn't mean that we didn't keep them on file. And then if somebody was looking for something, you know, we would pull that name out. And yeah, it is a way of making a connection and getting your name and your work and what you're doing seen by a group of peers.
Yeah, I guess like in a way, it's like when you are meeting new people, you are generally in the same space. And so like applying to things can be seen as like you being in that space.
Yeah.
And the more that you like show other people your work or other people that you're engaging into that space, I guess like of course it would stand to reason that like you would increase in popularity.
Yeah.
And like you would feel more familiar to the other people.
Yeah. I guess maybe we're missing like a glaringly obvious one, which is the internet.
Yeah, I guess so.
Yeah, so like joining different...
Just go to Reddit, guys.
Just joining different groups online and connecting with different spaces online through either their website or their newsletter, their social media, their YouTube pages. You know, like reaching out to people virtually and joining different virtual spaces, whether that's like live streams or things like that, or, you know, that's another way to connect. If going out in public and talking to a stranger in real life is like, no way, I'm never going to do that, then, you know, find a way to do that sort of similar thing online.
I guess in kind of a bit of a summary, like in order to build a community and to be a part of that, you have to engage in that community.
You have to be a part of it.
You have to be a part of it, which means that like you got to put you have to put the initial steps into that uncomfortability of like engaging with it. And you will probably have to often be in that position of being uncomfortable to engage with that space until eventually you kind of just amalgamate into them.
Yeah.
But the point is, you have to engage. I think that's kind of like, you know, if you want to be a part of a place and community, you know, show up and say, hi, I like you guys, let's hang out. That's not exactly how friendship works, but like, you get the idea.
Yeah. Well, we like you guys, so let's keep hanging out. Let us know what you think in the comments below. How do you participate in your community? What's been like the most interesting way that you have like made a connection in the arts community that you're a part of? And let us know in the comments below. We'd love to hear about it. And thanks so much for joining us for another episode of Art Discourse.
Goodbye, everybody. If you enjoyed this video, could you do two things for me? Could you like it, and could you subscribe to our channel? Both of these things help us out tremendously. A big shout out to all of our patrons. Your continued support is amazing, and we really appreciate the encouragement to continue making these videos. If you want to become a patron, you can see the link below in the description.
In Art Discourse.